Okay, so hi Zenaida, welcome to Ukiyoto Publishing. We are so glad to have you here and finally meet you.
Thank you. It's great to be here too.
Thank you. And we are going to talk about your book, Unapologetically Her. So we would like to start with knowing that how long have you been writing?
Well, okay, actually I started writing when I was about 10, but I only took it seriously in about 12 years ago. So yeah.
All right. And what is your writing inspiration?
Basically real life, everyday life, true stories, things that happen to people.
Okay, I think that's a great thing to start with writing a book. And let us know that what was your inspiration behind writing this book, Unapologetically Her?
This book, okay. So I was teaching in a school, in an international school, in an all-girls international boarding school. And we had LGBTQ girls there, you know, and some of them were treated really badly. Sadly, I found that there is a lack of understanding, there is a lack of tolerance, there is a lack of acceptance when it comes to anyone who is slightly different. And I found that often these children would cry. They were targeted not just by peers, but by educators as well. And I found that it was really painful to watch these young girls with no guidance, with no sex education is something that does not happen in India. So it was really sad to see what they were going through. And I have a daughter who's 18 now, and she had classmates who were LGBTQ, and they suffered. I know a lot of the time those girls would really cry. And it was pathetic to see that, you know, people who are supposed to be the ones that nurture and guide just couldn't find it in themselves to do that.
I think you're absolutely right, because there's a lot of time when sex education is not taught in school at all, and it's really bad that it is not taught, because a lot of rape cases and LGBTQ would be it'll be in a better state. So is this how you came up with the title and theme of the book?
Well, not really. I was struggling with the title. I just didn't have one, and I'm on a lot of Facebook reading groups. So I happened to put it out there, and like I've seen a lot of people do that. So I put it out there and I said, I'm writing this book on, LGBTQ relationships and young people and the struggles that they go through, etc. And I said, I would appreciate title suggestions. And I got so many. And then I put half of one and half of the other together. And that's how I came up with this title.
I think that's perfect. So as we were talking about LGBTQ, you have mentioned homosexuality in the book. So how did you go about writing a sensitive topic? I mean, were you afraid that it will put people off?
Well, not really. I honestly didn't think about it that way, because I normally have a tendency to write what I feel. I've written short stories before and I've done that. And, I felt that this is something that people need to read, because, how long are we going to deny the fact that there is a whole community out there that exists, a whole community that is looking for acceptance, and we're pushing them away because it's taboo, or because it's not the usual, it's not normal in some people's words. So they just don't want to understand and don't want to admit that this entire community exists. And I wrote the book with the idea that people would read it and would begin to understand the pain that they go through with, families not accepting them, society not accepting them, peers not accepting them. And so I hope that people would feel a little of what I felt.
I think you are absolutely right, because people see LGBTQ people so differently, like they are differently abled, or like they have a disability, or they are sick, and that is very common in Indian society. So did you have to be very careful while writing about this, especially when you're combining homosexuality with religion also? And I mean, you wrote about religion and homosexuality and conservative families all together. uh, did you have to be careful to not upset people of that particular gender or mental health or viewpoint of Indian society?
Yes, I was expecting some backlash, and I'm sure there will be as more and more people read the book. Definitely, people from a certain religious community will not be happy about it. But then I wanted to get that message out there. I wanted the people who are sitting there and in judgment over everyone else to understand, to take the time to stop and think about how these people feel. So I took the risk and I just went with it.
So you were not afraid that, you were afraid, I guess.
Well, not really. I've done this before with short stories. So no, I'm the kind of person, if I have something to say, and especially if it would benefit someone, I will say it, irrespective of what people think.
I think that's wonderful. That's very bold of you as a woman. I really, really respect that. And let's just come to the characters of the book. So what was the inspiration behind the characters?
Okay, so the characters are like, they're this eclectic mix of people that I have met who have crossed paths with me at some point in life, and who've left an impression. Some of them I've taken a little from someone and a little bit from someone else and put them together and created a character. So yes, they're real, but they're not just one person. There's like this whole mix of people that I've drawn inspiration from and put together to form maybe one single character.
So that was your character building process that you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay, that is great. I mean, mix and match of all the characters. That's amazing. So, do you think you were able to do justice with all the characters? I mean, all the characters. I read the book at the beginning. The woman was crying. That lady who was actually found out to be LGBTQ. I'm sorry, I'm giving out a little bit of spoilers because I read the book. So, the girl was crying in the beginning, and she was a Christian, and she fell in love with a Bengali. So, I think. How did you think you did justice with the characters?
I think so, yes, because throughout the book, their anguish is highlighted. My main characters, my protagonists' anguish is highlighted throughout the book. And the pain that she felt, there is a point where they're shunned by everyone, almost everyone. Almost everyone tells them that they should be normal, in quotes, normal. And even even someone like, a street vendor has something to say, has an opinion about their lives and their relationship. So I felt this is what LGBTQ people have to put up with. Everyone has an opinion on their life. Everyone wants to tell them how to live it. And I think I've shown that anguish, that struggle throughout, until the end. So yes, I think I've done justice. I would like to believe that I've done justice at least.
Well, I think you have done justice too. I believe that too. So, how well do you think you have represented homosexuality, or how well do you think you have conveyed your emotions on the paper? Did you think that your emotions did justice on the paper?
I think so, because given the feedback that I've got, so I think, yes, I did do justice to the characters and to that anguish and to homosexuality and to the LGBTQ community as a whole. I think this book, hopefully, I'm hoping, I can only hope that this book will be an eye-opener for some people, and they will, read it and begin to understand the pain that people like us put them through.
Okay, great. So what kind of message did you want to convey in the book, and do you think you did a good job with it?
I wanted to convey that it's important to be tolerant. I think we live in a world where there's very little tolerance these days. People are offended by everything, and at the drop of a hat, people are, fighting over trivial matters: what to wear, what to eat, who to be. And I think that has to stop if we are to progress in any way as human beings. We can't afford to be so petty, so intolerant. I remember a time where LGBTQ aside, when we were children, that life was so much simpler and there was so much more tolerance. I have seen over the decades how tolerance seems to have disappeared from people's lives. So I hope that this book will bring about an understanding of the LGBTQ community and will encourage people to be more accepting and more open.
Well, I really hope so too. But I wanted to ask you that what message do you have for the LGBTQ people who are in India? So, I mean, we all know the Indian society. We all know that, people are not accustomed to being LGBTQ. We see gay people, as you would, quote, we would see gay people differently. We would see straight people like a normal person. So, as an LGBTQ person, what message do you want to convey to the LGBTQ people in India?
Well, I would say to them, just continue to be who you are, and don't give up the fight. And I don't see why they should have to hide and why they should have to be embarrassed of being who they are. I would encourage more parents and more youngsters to sit down and talk and actually discuss and come out in the open. So because there is no shame to it, and I think parents need to, I would tell the parents of LGBTQ children, they are still your children, whether they're LGBTQ or not. So they need to have a change of mindset. I would tell LGBTQ young people to just be themselves, because they're all human beings, they're all individuals, and they're wonderful. So
yes, I think you have also answered my second question that I was about to ask, that what message do you want to convey to the Indian parents also, but you seem to have answered that as well. So I just wanted to ask you that what kind of responses have you got from your readers or the people who reviewed your book?
I was skeptical. I didn't expect to get good reviews, but I was very pleasantly surprised when the first person to review my book and to give me feedback was an 83-year-old American lady who couldn't put the book down. And
that is great.
Why this was all the more surprising is because she's very religious. She's very staunch Catholic. And I thought that she would not even want to, think about the book.
Yes, absolutely.
But she was one of the first people to buy the book, and she was having, she's with age, there are medical issues. So she wasn't doing too well medically at that point of time. So she would message me and say, I woke up from my nap and I'm going to read now. And then she would say, I read another 4 chapters and now I'm going to take a nap again. And then I'm going to wake up and read some more. She couldn't put the book down. And she just loved every bit of it. And she recommended it to a whole bunch of friends. She even bought a copy for an LGBTQ friend that she has. So I was thrilled with that. You know, that gave me a lot of hope that if someone who I least expected could appreciate it, then yeah, there is hope for this book.
I think so too. Actually, LGBTQ people should read this book. It's a very, very amazing book to read. I mean, especially if you're living in an Indian society, I think people should give it a try. So right now, are you working on anything else at the moment?
Yes, I am. I am working.
So can you tell us about it without giving away too much?
I have 2 projects that are going simultaneously. One is a book about being a single mom in a country like India. You know, again, the struggles and the discrimination that you face. And I've been a single parent for the last 18 years. So these are personal experiences and, you know, personal struggles and a few pearls of wisdom thrown in here and there based on experience. But it's not a book that, it's not a how to be a single mom parent, a book. It's not one of those. It's a story. So I don't want to be too lectury and to teach, you know, too much teaching puts people off. So yeah, it's a story about a single mom. And the second one is a book that is set in the 70s and the early 80s. It is about an Anglo-Indian girl who grows up in a very dysfunctional family. So I'm talking there about a lot of, you know, the Anglo-Indian way of life, the upbringing, the culture, the food, and all of that. And how that dysfunctional family, you know, has an effect on who she turns out to be and stuff like that.
I think I'm very much excited to read your book already. I am very much liking the single mother concept. It was single parent concept. It was very moving, and I really appreciate as a woman, single parents when a mom raises their child alone. I really, really respect that. I think they are one of the strongest women I have ever come across. So based on I have heard you that you are also a single mother, I think I really have, you know, just crossed the level of respect. I really, it's very appreciating. And I just want to know, what advice do you have for other writers?
I would say if you have a story to tell it. Make sure you write. Don't get discouraged. You know, I've been writing and none of my books have ever gone bestseller, or I've never been famous or anything. And the most common plight I hear from people is that, oh, people don't read, people don't buy my book. But I think if you've got a story to tell, then you must tell it, because that story is your voice. And I think if you have a voice, then it must be heard. So put it out there. You never know.
I think it's a very, very strong message, and I really appreciate it. I really liked talking to you, and I hope that whatever message that you're trying to convey in the Unapologetically Her book, I hope everybody listens to it. I hope you are heard. Your voice is also heard, and you are, you know, talking on behalf of so many people who are quiet in India, because, you know, it's unacceptable. It's a disability to be a homosexual. So I think you are doing a great thing, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, it actually has been a pleasure to me as well. I finally got to meet you, and actually I really, really loved talking to you. So we'll be signing out now, but you guys can check out her book in the caption below. It will be on our website, and you can purchase it from there. It's a really lovely book. I would recommend, and I hope to see you again, Zenaida. Thank you so much.
I hope to see you too. Thank you.
And I hope to interview on your next book as well, because I'm really eager to read that book as well. So,
okay. Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Zenaida. We'll be signing out. So have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye, Shirsha. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.